This is the Electric Source Imaging System, or ESI. This powerful machine may help researchers unlock the mysteries of the brain and allow doctors to accurately diagnose epilepsy and many other neurological disorders. The ESI lets neurosurgeons see the electrical activity in the brain without ever making an incision. This groundbreaking research is taking place at Miami Children's Hospital by engineering students from Florida International University's Center for Advanced Technology and Education, also known as CATE. Neuroscan, maker of the ESI, says this is the second ESI machine sold in the world and the first to be installed in an academic research setting in North America. Dr. Prasanna Jayakar is the director of the Neuroscience Center at Miami Children's Hospital. He and other neurologists work with the students from CATE to collect and analyze brainwave data using the ESI.
When the students come in, they record specific data sets using subjects, either normal or patients, with the help of the technologists.
The process of collecting the data begins by placing a cap containing 256 electrodes on the patient's head. It is then connected to 8 signal amplifiers, which allows the ESI to record electrical pulses created by the brain from each electrode simultaneously, providing a complete representation of the brain's electrical activity.
It has a very high resolution. It allows 256 channels of data recording points as compared to only 32 points using the routine EEG machine. It also has a very high capability of sampling rate, which allows us to look at very fast activities of the brain, which typically occur when the brain is operating from a cognitive standpoint.
This high-resolution recording, along with the use of a special pen which creates a 3D model of the patient's head, can then be combined to show the areas of higher brain activity. But to further analyze the more than 19 billion samples recorded by the ESI, the data is taken to CATE, where students like Natasha Mirkovic use another program to delve deeper into locating the problem areas in the brain.
I use a Curry program to localize the sources of epileptic seizures. Curry program is a very powerful tool with a lot of different localization methods.
Using the patient's MRI, Curry builds a 3-dimensional model of the patient's head, and then combines that with the data from the ESI recordings to create an integrated 3D rendering. This shows the points of increased brain activity, identifying when and where the seizure started. The ability to pinpoint the site of brain function or dysfunction is crucial to the neurosurgeons.
In order to achieve a cure, there are two major aspects. A, we need to identify where the seizures are coming from, and B, we also need to define regions which are critical for language, motor, and visual functions. So we can precisely identify what regions of the brain can be removed and what regions of the brain cannot be removed. These two pieces of information are absolutely critical because that's the key to success and safety. The ESI projects are geared towards both these goals.
The ESI is not the only project the students and doctors are working on to precisely identify where the problem areas are in the brain. CATE engineering student Mark Rossman is developing another non-invasive method to identify abnormal brain activity.
The technology is called SPECT, Single Photon Emission Computed Tomography, where basically the doctor will inject a radiopharmaceutical into the patient, and that pharmaceutical will trap itself in the tissues of the brain and emit a radionuclide. And as the radionuclide decays, it gives off photons that are captured by a special camera and allows an image of the brain to be made non-invasively that shows how the brain is active. For example, this is a set of SPECT brain images of one particular patient who's having problems with epilepsy. And we know from experience that these red areas here, which are color-coded, actually mean that the highest blood flows in the brain correspond to epileptic lesions. So whereas the doctors look at these colored areas, they have some idea of where to operate, where's the problem being caused in the brain.
The goal of the partnership between Miami Children's Hospital and FIU's CATE Research Lab is to allow engineering students the opportunity to perform their research in a real-world setting and at the same time help many of the children at the hospital.
Aside from the ESI, we also have several other projects within neurosciences, both in neurophysiology as well as imaging techniques, where students from FIU are taking a very active role and contributing significantly not only towards their educational endeavors, but also to the care of children at Miami Children's Hospital.